Hey, welcome back to my channel, Cruising Out of Sight. As I mentioned in my last little recap back from my hiatus video, I've been away for quite a while. I kind of ran out of some video content. I hadn't been on a cruise in the longest in about 2.5 years or so. I took a couple months off there to take care of some things around the house and some personal things. So that was a scheduled little break there. But went back into September on a back-to-back, or side-to-side, I guess it is, starting on Liberty of the Seas out of Newark, New Jersey, and then on Oasis of the Seas, also out of Newark, New Jersey. I cruised with my middle brother. This was his first cruise, the one on Liberty, and then he joined me on Oasis as well. So quite a stint. It was a 9-day and a 7-day, so 16 days total. Was a bit much for him. I personally like that length because I have to fly from Ohio to wherever I'm cruising out of. So I like to get that bang for my buck as far as the airline tickets go. But I'm back with a bunch of new content. This video, I want to talk a little bit about my experiences with the roulette play on both Liberty and Oasis as well. Learned some new things. I think all of us, I guess, are learning new things all of the time. Came up with a new tool to help me track my play a little bit better. So let's jump right into it. So as you can see over here on the side, I made a little spreadsheet that's showing my play on Liberty of the Seas. I didn't play a whole ton. I usually average maybe 2 or 3 hours a day. As you can see from the hours column there, I dialed that way back. This was my brother's first cruise, so we spent a lot of time going around the ship, looking at things, different experiences. He didn't plan to play a whole bunch in the casino, so I generally only played when he was playing, or if he wanted to go back to the room early. So what you can see is day 1 and 2, I put about 2.25 hours in total. I did end up having that big loss on day 2 at the very end, but I was on a real streak. I was up about $700 at the time. I was only playing up to $1,500, so I ended up down $700 or so. And you can see that huge point jump that I got on day 2 as a consequence of losing that $1,500 all in 12 spins in a row. I was really happy with the points that I got. You can see the points per hour totals over there. I usually try to target about $100 an hour based off the way I play. It's the average that I've been getting. And you can see from these totals, even after day 2, when I was just playing my normal, hitting around the 4th to 7th round, like my scheme would normally have you do, I'm still getting over 100 points an hour. So that was really, really nice. It was a 9-day cruise, which is nice. I don't like those 4 or 5-day cruises where you're trying to get enough points for a certificate. You've got to play extra hard to get it. On a 9-day cruise, you can play leisurely, as you can see here, plus the little bump from the extra points per hour, and which is a result of my, I'll call it a scheme. That sounds dirty. It's not a scheme. It's a strategy. As a result of my strategy, I'm putting those big bets that the casino dealer sees. Tends to make them gauge me as a higher per spin average on my bets that I'm actually doing. I'm probably averaging around $30 to $50 a spin, depending on how unlucky I'm getting that day. But I tend to be rated at around $75 to $100. So I'm generally getting more points than I actually deserve because the dealer is seeing those big payouts. When I do go 7, 8 spins, it's $1,000 payout. So he's seeing that, him or her is seeing that, and is rating me as such for the higher spin or average bet per spin. So you can see I ended up the cruise with enough points to make a nice certificate with some free play. I did come home and book that on Oasis for March. I had a symphony at the beginning of March next year and a symphony at the end of March next year, both one with each of my daughters. And I was looking to kind of fill in that gap in between those two so that, again, I didn't have to fly back from Florida and then fly back there 2 weeks later. Again, this will allow me to cruise pretty much the entire month of March. Maybe get a little visit with my parents in. That's always nice. They live in Central Florida on the Atlantic coast. So looking forward to that in March. I've never been on Symphony, so that'd be kind of cool as well. I did come home to 5 offers. I took advantage of 4 of those offers to fill in those March dates. And then I also had a Utopia offer for September of 2024, which I was really surprised. The brand new ship, I was surprised that the casino was giving away offers for that. So took advantage of that as well. And then the very next day, I actually got another offer, which I'm looking to take a cruise on a Vision class ship. So really, really good. I think ending up with 1,600 points for that amount of play is very, very generous from the casino. So the next cruise on Oasis was a little different story. I played, fairly decent the first couple of days, checked my points, and I was getting like hardly any points for the amount of play that I was doing. I was going really, really deep a few times. The pit boss was coming over and taking a look at my bets for the big payouts, and still was rating me terribly. I talked to the casino host and the pit boss about it. The casino host put in some notes in the software they use, which I had never seen before, but that didn't seem to help anything. I played in the next couple of days and still wasn't getting hardly any points off of my play. So the fact that my brother wasn't doing well on slots, I wasn't getting very many points. I just kind of stopped playing. I'd pop down there, I'd play for a little while. You can see for those points per hour, just pathetic points. It wasn't improving. So that kind of get my wheels turning. What can I do to have some evidence about what I play? Instead of asking them to, rewind the cameras and take a look at my play, is there some way I can present them with a log of how I've played? And we'll talk a little bit more about that here coming up. So I came up with a good way to try that out, and I'm going to exercise that new tool on Jewel of the Seas next month. I'm on a back-to-back up to Canada out of Newark on Jewel. 20 days total, so a 10-day and a 10-day back-to-back. So that'll give me plenty of time to try this out and get a bunch of data off of this new system. The advantage of a back-to-back also is that you really get to know the dealers and the pit bosses, and I think that really helps as well. So we'll see if that proves itself out. So here is the tracking tool that I came up with. This is an Excel spreadsheet. I also put this in a Google Sheets, which is a lot easier to do on my phone. As long as I have an internet connection, I can do that on my phone. So this is the structure I was using. It's a somewhat modified structure, kind of between the aggressive and moderate structures that I had before. Oh no, that's not right. I'm sorry. It's between the moderate and conservative structures. So here I'm going to win $10 or $15 per spin, and this is based off of a $10 table. Both Liberty and Oasis only had $10 tables. I do prefer to play on a $5 table if it is available. It gives you a little bit more flexibility in your bets. You don't have to start out at the 10. You can start at a 5 and then go aggressive from then on. On a $10 table, going aggressive gets out of control pretty quickly. So I prefer to do this little stutter step. I'll bet 10 the first spin and then 10 again the second spin instead of going for that big $15, $20 payoff per win. I'm happy with a $10 to $15 win per spin or per hit on each spin. So what this allows me to do is each time I have a win, I can put a little tick mark in that fourth column saying, okay, this is how far I got before I hit a win. This is how much I needed to bet to get to that win. And then when I go back and I enter those tick marks on my phone will calculate columns 5 and 6, which show how many total spins I did to get to that win, and then how much total dollars I bet to get to that win. You can see I've got it all the way out through over $2,000, which would be your maximum bet on a $10 table. Like in my first video, I explained how you can put $100 on the inside numbers in addition to your $500 on the outside spaces as well, the outside dozens. That'll get you up into that $2,000 range instead of being limited at the $500 table max for an outside bet on a $10 table. I have noticed a little bit of inconsistency with that as well. Funny story. I actually got into a little argument with the pit boss on Oasis of the Seas about the ability to bet on the inside numbers on a $10 table. On Liberty, on a $10 table, if you want to just fool around and play some inside numbers, you only have to put $1 on an inside bet. I like to play the 30-33 split and the 0-0-0 split. So I'll put $2 on the inside plus my 10 or more dollar bet on the outside, which is a ship-specific rule. I've never seen a land casino let you do that. Usually you have to bet 10 outside and 10 inside on a $10 minimum table. But on the cruise ships, they allow you to play less than 10 on the inside as long as you're playing table minimum on the outside, which is a cool rule. On Oasis of the Seas, they give you colored chips. The minimum denomination you can get is a $2 chip. So you've got to put a $2 on that same split instead of a $1. I don't understand the inconsistencies between the ships. You think the same corporation would have the same rules on the same minimum bet table across their entire fleet? I do not understand why they don't let you bet $1 on the inside. It's fine. I don't really care. I'll put a $2 bet on those inside bets. It's not a big deal. The real inconsistency is you can't bet $3. Why? Nobody can explain to me. You can bet $4. You can bet $5 with a single $5 chip, which would be, to me, a $3 and a $2 bet, right? Or if you're splitting the numbers, $2.50 on each bet. Why can't I bet $3 on an inside number? Kind of blows my mind, and nobody can explain it to me why. The real rub I had is that I like to play colored $5 chips. I don't like to have real $5 chips on the outside bets. Many times I've had somebody scoop my win when it comes in, and now I've got to figure out which one of those $5 chips that they scooped are mine versus theirs. Or somebody will come in and start playing their own $5 bets on the outside and get in an argument with me about whether that was their win or my win. So I play colored chips on the outside to avoid that. If I'm playing on the inside, I like to play with real $1 chips. The rub came when the dealer wouldn't give me $1 chips. I asked the dealer for $20 in $1 chips. He told me, no, you can't do that. You can't play $1 on the inside. I said, well, that's fine. I'll put $2 on the inside. I'll take two $1 chips, put them on the inside. Nope, had a problem with that as well. Can't do that. So he called the pit boss over. The pit boss and I kind of got into it. You know, why these inconsistencies on your chips or on your ships? I do this all the time on other ships. I was actually doing it on Oasis the previous 4 nights with no problem at all, playing $2 on an inside number using real $1 chips. He said, no, can't do that. You wanted me to color in my $5, get those back as $2 chips, get real $5 chips, which I've explained why I don't like to do that. Would not let me do it. He said that those $1 chips are for payouts, he said. They had probably 100 of them in the thing. They only need, 10, 20 total, to pay people out those odd numbers that, they may win. I explained to the guy, this is the first casino I've ever been at where you don't want me to bet. You want me to leave? He said, well, do whatever you want, sir. So I cashed my chips in, and I can see the last couple of days I didn't even play hardly at all, if at all. Yeah. So I looked down, and I moved on from that spreadsheet. But anyhow, I didn't play at all the last couple of days. I wasn't getting any points anyhow. Through that little play on Oasis, I had gotten back my losses, and I was like $400 or $500 up, and I didn't want to put that in jeopardy if I wasn't going to be getting enough points to get her certificate anyhow. So anyhow, that's my long story. I hate it when you run into a pit boss that doesn't want to work with you, doesn't want to listen to why you want to do what you want to do, and I can't stand those inconsistencies between the ships. Your one corporation, just have the same rules across your entire corporation. I don't get it. Anyhow, so this spreadsheet's going to allow me to enter this on my phone if there's an issue when at the end of my session, I ask the pit boss, hey, how do you have me rated? If he's got me rated at, $20 a spin, and I have evidence that I'm at, $70 a spin, I could show him the spreadsheet and say, hey, I've been keeping track this entire session, and this is where I'm at. It'll also help me talk to you guys about how many points I get, kind of prove out the strategy that I'm going for. My strategy is to maximize my points and to minimize my risk. So I can come to you guys with data on that, which I think would be really, really good. The spreadsheet, yeah, there it is. So I'm able to print this off, just the key columns, so I can put little tick marks. You can see up here that I'm putting tick marks in each of those things once I hit at that level, and then I can use this tally sheet to put it into my phone, and the phone will calculate total number of spins, total dollars wagered, and then divide those two, obviously, to get total wager per spin, so I can show the pit boss. I don't know that they'll be persuaded by it. I guess we'll find out on Jewel when I first try this, so we shall see. Well, hopefully that was helpful to you. Hopefully I didn't talk too much, ramble on and on about it. I do have a little bit of a sore throat. I came off of Oasis with kind of a dry throat. It's kind of worked its way up into my sinuses now. Haven't tested for COVID. Don't want to waste a test for nothing. But anyhow, I'll be fine. But I'm feeling it now after for 10 minutes. So anyhow, hopefully you enjoyed that. If you did, please slap a like on there. Please comment if you would. Do you like the content? Is there something you want me to talk about I'm not talking about? Am I going on and on too much about things you don't want to hear about? Would love to hear from you guys in the comments. If you haven't already, please slap a subscribe on there. It'll keep you up to date if well, not if, but when I put new content out. So would really, really appreciate that. It lets me know that you guys and gals are interested in the content I'm putting out. I do have some ideas for some different content from what I've done thus far. So would really like to hear from you guys about what kind of content you're interested in. I don't want to create content that other cruisers, there's tons of them, other YouTube content providers that cruise a lot are putting out there. So let me know. I'd really appreciate your comments. I've received some really, really good ones so far, so appreciate those. That being said, have a nice day. We'll see you next time.